everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Hey everybody, it's me. Hi, hello, and I'm back. And today, I'm gonna be following up on a video I just made about overconsumption. I made a video about the overconsumption of Dollar Tree. It was inspired by, one, my love of watching Dollar Tree hauls on the internet, and two, my recent interest in a YouTube channel called Shauna Rapari, where she often talks about overconsumption on her channel, usually as it applies to like fashion and things like that. Not necessarily the Dollar Tree, but I listened to a lot of her videos and kind of thought about the things that she was saying and applied them in a sort of not really video essay type of video about Dollar Tree and the things that I've noticed about people who do Dollar Tree hauls on the internet. And I really enjoyed making that video, and I think a lot of people appreciated like a different type of video, different style of video from me. And I appreciated all the positive comments on the video from those of you that really enjoyed it. And there was one video, actually, according to the screenshot I just took, was posted 19 hours ago. And just trust that like I really do stand by, like, you don't have to address everything. I'm not addressing this because it bothers me. I'm addressing this because I think it, one, gives me an opportunity to talk about something that a lot of people have asked me about over the years, which is like, why do I like Furbies? Why do I have such an investment in Furbies? Like, what about Furbies is of interest to me? But two, I think it like allows us to talk a little bit more about overconsumption and like what qualifies as overconsumption and why should we care about overconsumption? So the comment specifically comes from somebody whose username is just a bunch of numbers, but it says, addressing overconsumption in front of your wall of Furbies is ironic. And so yeah, if you're brand new to my channel, you might not know that usually this little shelf back here is full of Furby memorabilia and things like that. And when I say full of, I mean obviously there's a bunch of other things on that shelf that aren't Furby related. But yeah, I like Furbies. It's an interest of mine. It comes from being a child when Furbies were really popular and really wanting one and really being excited and grateful for when my parents were able to get me one as a gift. I really like think Furbies are cool in the sense that like they lend themselves to this whole other like community now that like makes modifications to Furbies, that makes decorative Furbies in different kinds of ways. They really represent to me the fun and whimsy that I had as a kid. They represent like the sacrifice my parents made in order to get me a Furby as a gift. And they represent, I think, in a lot of ways just like the fun, whimsical queerness of my life. And so yeah, as an adult, I have invested in various Furby memorabilia, but also have had a lot of things that are Furby related gifted to me because people know that I like Furbies. And so I think this comment left me paused because I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, am I participating in overconsumption with my collection of Furby memorabilia, toys, items, art, decor, etc. And I think one of the things that I thought about the most is that, you know, even in talking about the Dollar Tree stuff, like a lot of the points I made about the Dollar Tree hauls was that like people were just getting it to haul on YouTube, right? Like they didn't really have a purpose outside of wanting to bring it to the internet and show it in a video for clout. Or perhaps they were only getting something because it was name brand and they didn't even know what it did. A lot of times it didn't feel like these people had purposes for the stuff that they were going to buy outside of just like getting it to show in a video. And a lot of times people would talk about getting ready to donate it almost immediately after because they didn't have a use for it or they didn't intend to buy it or they bought it on accident or something like that. Basically, they either were like only putting thought into it so that they could put it in a YouTube video or they weren't putting any thought into the purchase at all. And I think that's where my purchases or collection of Furbies really differs because my collection is very intentional. I don't just like get anything. I really am actually against the idea of just buying a Furby item because it's a Furby or has a Furby on it. Like I want to make sure I'm getting use out of the things that I purchase. And sometimes I will say that use is for it to sit in the background of my videos as decoration. I'm not like the expert at home decor by any means, but I do like Furbies and they do bring me joy as decoration, especially as like a YouTuber who wants to have something visually stimulating behind me. So in that way, I think a lot of my purchases actually have been really intentional. The other part of my intentional purchases is that a lot of stuff I get or buy actually doesn't come from like any large corporation, but comes from smaller art sellers on like Etsy or art sellers that I found through Instagram. I also have a number of things, or at least one thing that I purchased that came from a thrift store, and a couple things that came from a friend who got some stuff at an estate sale. I mean, since Furbies are a toy that was popular in the 90s, a lot of this stuff is not bought brand new, and in fact, you'll notice that I don't have any of the new versions of Furbies in my collection, just because like I don't enjoy those as much. I don't necessarily feel like I need those as a part of my collection. Maybe someday. I wouldn't say never, that I'll like never do that, but like for the most part, my interest comes in like the ones from the 90s. So yeah, I guess all of that to say is like, I think a lot of my purchases of Furby related stuff has been very intentional, or has been intentionally gifted to me by people who know what I like about Furbies and want to bring that joy to me as gifts at like my birthday, the holidays, etc. So I do want to share a little bit about my purchases or about my collection, because that's the part that like over the years, lots of people have had questions about. A lot of people have like wanted to know more about what's in my Furby collection. And I think I have everything either on my body right now, on my desk, or in a pile on the ground. There are a couple little Furbies that are still like on the shelves, but I think you'll see like why I didn't feel the need to bring them down, because I have representations of that here. And I think for the ease of like being able to just identify how much of this stuff I didn't actually buy myself, I'll start with the things that I purchased for myself. And we could start with this hat that I'm wearing. If I can, actually, I think there's only one thing. A lot of the stuff from Etsy, I don't really actually remember like the Etsy seller or anything like that. Like I got this hat years ago at this point, and I don't know that I could tell you where specifically like what shop I got it from on Etsy, but I got it because back in the day I used to wear hats a lot more often than I do now that my hair is longer. But I used to wear a different ball cap like every day, and so I did wear this a lot. I don't wear it as much anymore, and it has this little Furby face on it, if you can see that. We can start with that. We can start with that since it's on my head right now. One of my more recent purchases is this wallet from Loungefly. Now, as an example of like, I don't just buy anything that's Furby just because it's Furby, Loungefly actually also had a backpack that was the same similar design. And a lot of people will send me stuff that they see on the internet if it's Furby related, which I do appreciate. I love seeing all the Furby stuff all the time. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, I will literally never carry that backpack. Like, I'm literally never going to carry that backpack. Like, I'm not a backpack girly like that. I would never wear it out in the streets. But I was like, I would carry this wallet and do. I don't carry it all the time because it is bigger than like the wallet that I normally carry. But for certain events, certain occasions, if I have a bigger bag with me, I'll carry this Furby wallet with me. I think it's really cute. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's one of those things that like, if I'm at the coffee shop, it's like literally sparked like conversation with the cashier whenever I pulled it out to go pay. So it's just fun. I love getting the opportunity to talk about Furbies. Oh, and then its eyes, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but its eyes also open and close depending on how you move it. But it's like one of those things that I just like enjoy talking to folks about. And so I really love this. It was a great purchase. It was a little expensive, but again, like I really like Furby. It was an investment and I do use it frequently. Another thing that I purchased that wasn't necessarily from like a Etsy shop, personal seller, etc., was from the collab with Cakeworthy. And actually, this just made me think, I haven't worn the shirt in a long time, but I also have a t-shirt from Cakeworthy too. I did not bring that in with me. But I do have this belt bag, and I do wear belt bags a lot. If there was anything I maybe regret a little bit from the purchases that I made, it was maybe this, because I don't use it nearly as often as I thought I would, and I think it's mostly because I feel like this little tuft of hair gets in the way a lot whenever I wear it. Like, it just is not, it's just in the way. But I do want to start wearing it more, so I probably will. I think oftentimes also with belt bags is I have a bagoo bag that is like my go-to bag. And so frequently it's just a matter of ease. It's just a matter of like, it's there, it's available. I don't have to think about it. Like my wallet, keys, and stuff are all usually already in it. But maybe this summer we can pull Miss Furbiana back out a little bit more. But yeah, I would say if there's anything I maybe regret a little bit, it's this, because I don't use it as much as I thought I would use it, but I've still used it, okay? I've still definitely used it more than just a few times. It's just like, I typically just grab my bagoo because it's easier for me. This is a Furby that I got off of Etsy, and I talked a little bit earlier about how like there's a whole community of people who modify Furbies and things like that, and this is the example of that, or one example of that. I think things got popularized by the long Furbies, which I actually don't own because they're really expensive, and I just haven't felt comfortable investing in a long Furby at this point yet. But this is a smaller Furby. Back in the day, they used to have these little Furby buddies that are basically just like beanbag filled Furbies. They don't do the same things that like the talking electronic Furbies do. And they basically like added on, I don't know if this is a Bratz doll or what, but these like doll legs and arms to it. I love her so much. She's so fun. Her name on the tag says her English name is Big Good, which I also just love. Like, I love the idea of calling her Big Good because it makes me think a little bit of like Big Ange from Mob Wives. It kind of makes me think of that. So I like to think of her as my little mob wife Furby. Y'all probably haven't seen this one before, but this is a stained glass piece of work that I got from a stained glass maker on Instagram. Their handle is Whimsy Glassworks. I'll try to make sure to like pop that up on the screen or leave a link down below or both. But I had been following them for a long time, and they only ever like every once in a while do like releases and open up their shops and stuff. So you have to like be on the lookout for when they're gonna open up their shop to buy something. But you haven't seen this because I do like have it in my window in another place in the house. But I like really like this. I think it's like so cool. It's such a unique piece. I think it's so fun. I love like the sunlight coming through it. And so this is something I invested in. It also was probably a little bit more expensive, but it was something that like I wanted to get to like decorate my home and add some whimsy to my home. This was like such a special find for me. If you don't know, there was a like spin-off toy called Shelby that it operates just like a regular Furby does, but it looks different, obviously, right? And so this was such a special find because I was at a thrift shop and I saw it. They had it locked up in like this glass case that you had to ask permission to get stuff from. And I saw it there and I was like, oh my God, I've never seen one of these in real life before. This is crazy to me. This is, I need this. But then I was like, ugh, I don't want to, like, I shouldn't spend it. Because I think it was like $50 or something. And it felt like a lot. I can't remember exactly. It was like 50 or 60, I think. And then I looked online on like eBay and stuff like that. And they're going for either about that much or like more expensive. So I feel like, you know, in the long run, I got a good deal. But anyways, I was at the thrift store, I left, and I was like thinking it over, and I was like, no, you should just go back and get it. Like, you should just go back and get it, have it be a part of your collection. Like, most people don't even know what a Shelby is, and I just think that it's like so unique. It's such a rare find, and honestly, I haven't tried to turn it on again since the day I got it, but it does work. Like, she does function. And in fact, I didn't think it worked, and I had it in a bag, and I went and did some other shopping in the neighborhood after I purchased it. And I was like checking out at another store where I was buying something, and it started talking. And the cashier looked at me, and I looked at them, and then I had to explain like what was going on. And then I brought it home that day, and it just like would not stop talking. And so I haven't tried to like once it finally stopped, I have not tried to like get it to go again because I just like don't want to, I don't know, I don't want it to keep going. I think if I remember correctly, like Poe side-eyed it a lot that day when it was talking and stuff. So we're really just not trying to recreate that, to be honest with you. And then honestly, that's the end of stuff that I bought for myself. That's the end of things that are mine, which I guess maybe that is a lot. But like I said, almost none of that is like brand new stuff. The stuff from Cakeworthy and Loungefly are probably the only things I purchase like directly from like manufacturer that is currently making things today. Another example of me not just like buying anything that is Furby related is a lot of people sent me links to this collab that Furby did with Hey Dudes. And to be quite honest, one, I hate Hey Dudes. I'm so sorry. I think they're just so ugly, which like is a lot coming from somebody who regularly wears Crocs. So I get it. I got it. You know, I feel you. If you like Hey Dudes, live your Hey Dude fantasy. They're not for me. But then two, I also just thought the Furby ones were kind of ugly. And then three, they specifically also only had them in women's sizes, and I don't think they even went up to my size. So for many reasons, I was like, I'm not just gonna buy these just to get them. Like, they're not for me. Like, I'm not gonna wear them. I probably couldn't wear them because they didn't have any that fit me. I wear like a size 11 in men's shoe, okay? Like, I got some big old feet. So yeah. So I didn't get those. So there are some times where things like that come up and I'm just like, not of interest to me. I get that it's a Furby. I also don't need it. So moving on to things in my Furby collection that I got as gifts from people. One is this shirt. I can't remember if it was a birthday gift or a Christmas gift, but I had friends that gifted me this one. It's like a, I don't know, is it the Venus de Milo? Except with a Furby. That was like 2 years ago, and then this year, the same friends gifted me this sweatshirt, which I think a lot of you like. It's the recycling logo, but with Furbies, and it says refurbish. And people ask me all the time where I got both of these sweatshirts from, and unfortunately, like, those are also purchases from Etsy that my friends made that I don't, like, they were gifts, so I don't know where they came from. I'm sure you could search on Etsy and find things that are similar. But I do really like both of these sweatshirts. You'll probably start seeing them less now as it's getting warmer in Chicago. I'm probably gonna wear them less. Even today, honestly, it feels a little warm to be sitting in the studio lights with this particular sweatshirt on. But I just wanted to obviously wear it for the video. Like, we're here to talk about all my Furby stuff, so why wouldn't I have this on? I guess I could have wore the Cakeworthy shirt. And that could have been an option. But anyways, here we are. I digress. This is another gift that I received. I don't know how well you can see those or not, but these are some Furby earrings, and I have worn these before. I don't wear dangly earrings as much these days, so I keep them for special occasions. I do love these. I think they're so fun, and when I have worn them out, people do compliment me on them, which I just think is just so fun and silly. Like, I don't think people are expecting to see Furbies with arms dangling down, but this was a gift from a friend. I did not purchase these on my own, but I do really appreciate them. I probably don't need to keep clarifying that these things were gifts at this point, right? Like, from here on out, everything was a gift. You've probably never seen this before, but this is literally a mouse pad. It has actually Furbies and Tamagotchis, and also the little, like, worms. You know those little fun, silly worms? It's a mouse pad. I mean, it's always here on the desk. You just probably don't see it, because why would I ever show you my Furby mouse pad? The next two gifts were things that a friend of mine crocheted herself. One is this actual crocheted Furby. I think this is so fun. This is my friend Mona. She crafted this for me, and I think it's just like so cute. It's been on my bookshelf for quite some time now. She's actually crocheted me some other stuff. I was looking to see if it was on my shelf, but I think I have those things in other places in my house. But she's a great crocheter, and she did this for me, and I just thought that it was so sweet and so nice. She also, back in the day when I was still covering Foodie Booty more regularly, you might remember a time where Foodie Booty had a doily that she would wear on her head. And my friend Mona made me a doily. But the thing is that so I could wear it on my head, but it also has a little Furby on it. And I just thought it was so fun. I really appreciated it. I haven't used it in a long time for the purposes of a video, but I do think I wore it in a video at least once or twice. Otherwise, I also do typically have it displayed behind me on the bookshelf, but it might be a little bit harder to see than some of the other Furbies. Now, one of the most obvious Furby things, and I actually have two vases like this full of these Furbies, is this vase full of Furbies. If you don't know, back in the day, McDonald's had Furby Happy Meal toys. And so this is just a whole bunch of those in a big old vase. And basically what happened is my friend Shay was like, Zach, I have a box that I'm gonna ship to you and I want you to ask no questions. And so she sent me this huge box and I opened it up and it was just full of these. And then I think she might have included a note, but I also talk to her regularly, so I can't remember if she told me this or it was in a note. But either way, basically the explanation for all of these Furbies is that she was at an estate sale and the person who had passed away had been a general manager of a McDonald's at some point. And so they had all of these Furby Happy Meal toys just hanging out in a box. And so she bought them from the estate sale thinking of me and sent them to me. And I won't lie, and I think I've told this to Shay too, so hopefully if she's watching this is not a surprise. But I won't lie, I was like, girl, what am I gonna do with all of these fucking Furbies? Like, what do you think I'm gonna do with all of these? And then I was out and about, actually at the same thrift store that I got the Shelby, I saw these big glass vases and I was like, oh my god, what if I get this huge glass vase and I fill it up and I just have a vase full of Furbies? And so here we are, and I think it's just like such a fun little thing to have as decoration behind me. I spent very little money on it, very little money on the actual vases themselves. Did not buy them brand new, got them thrifted, and yeah, I love it. I think it's great. And like I said, there is a second one down there. I didn't feel like I needed to bring both of them up here. And then not all of the Furbies fit inside of the vases, so I did sprinkle a couple like outside of the vases on the different shelves. Speaking of Shay, she also got me this artwork one time. It's like a long Furby situation type of deal. This is actually, I think, recent as of this past Christmas is when she got this for me. But yeah, this one actually does have I kept the card for who it's by. It's by Kelly Dean Verity. You can find Kelly on Instagram. Well, all social media handles are at kverityart, or you can go to kverityart.com. But this was a gift from Shay this past Christmas. And then I think that leaves just one item left of my collection. Well, technically kinda two. But it's this Furby, and it is a special limited edition Royal Majesty Furby. And this was gifted to me by my Twitch community back like maybe the second year that I ever streamed on Twitch. A bunch of them got together and worked with my moderators who I am like friends with to put together like a really nice package for me. I don't have a P.O. box or anything, but I agreed that if they wanted to work with like one of my trusted moderators that they could get something sent to me. And so they found this. This was also like something that they bought like resell, not brand new, obviously. And it just means so much to me because one, it's like the only actual like Furby like this that I currently own. My mom couldn't find the childhood Furby that I had, so who knows where she's at. Who knows where she's at in this world. I don't have any like actual just like Furbies except this one that's in the box right here. And it also means so much to me because it's like representative of my Twitch community and the community that I built here on the internet. And so I just really value this. It's very special to me to the extent that the actual last part of my whole Furby collection is a Furby tattoo that I had done. It's on my thigh and I'm wearing pants right now, so I can't really show it to you, but I will pop it up on the screen in case you've never seen it, because also I only ever film usually from my from my waist up. But it just like means so much to me. Like I said, Furby means a lot to me. I think Furby is just so representative of like whimsy and my childhood and the whimsy that I've taken from my childhood into like my present as an adult, and also like the sacrifices my parents made for me to like have something that was really important to me as a kid. So I just think that Furby is wonderful, and you know, maybe it's still up for debate on if my Furby collection is representative of overconsumption. But also I hope you know that like all of these pieces mean something to me. I do think sometimes collections can turn into overconsumption. A joke I talk about on Twitch all the time is like, I don't know, I think about my mom and her love of snowmen. And at a certain point, my mom's love of snowmen just turned into like, everybody got her a snowman gift at any given holiday. At any given celebration. It's like, how are we gonna celebrate Zach's mom? We're gonna get her a snowman. To the point of like, do you even care about all of these snowmen and things like that? So I do think sometimes collections can be like that. Like, I think a lot of like moms have things like that they really like, and it turns into this just like overwhelming collection that takes over their home. But for me, I try to be very intentional about my purchases with Furbies. Either that or like, I do appreciate a gift, but I appreciate a gift that's been well thought out and intentionally purchased with like me in mind for a specific kind of reason. I appreciate a Furby gift that I can use. You know, like I'm really, really not in love with just like having Furbies just to have Furbies. I want them to be special for some kind of reason. I want them to matter to me. And I'd like to think I put a lot of thought into my collection. And I hope you've enjoyed getting to hear more about my Furby collection, and kind of like how I got all of the different pieces in it and things like that. And yeah, thanks for listening if you made it this far into me yapping about Furbies. And thanks to that random number username for making the comment and inspiring this video, because it is something that I'm really passionate about. And as I think about like what I want my channel to be, you know, this fits right in there. Not that I'm gonna make 12 more Furby videos, because I'm probably not. This will probably be the only one. But, you know, I think that it's really just special that I get to share this today. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did and you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow all of my social media. I don't know why I said this so weird. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!